Hello friends and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Valeria for those of you who are new, and on this channel I make videos about tarot, spirituality and manifestation. And for today's video I am gonna channel the subject first. So I don't know what the subject is gonna be yet. You probably will depending on the title. And so, in a minute, I will start channeling the subject and then I will start channeling some messages as well. So, these messages come from my angels, my spirit guides, my higher self, and I also work closely together with Archangel Michael. So, there will also be messages from him coming through. And whenever I will feel called to, I will share my opinions and my personal views as well. Just so you know, you're free to disagree with anything or everything that I say. We are all free, right? We all have the right for our own opinion. We all live our own truth, and I respect that. And I simply ask you to respect my opinion or anyone else's opinion in the comments too. So please be kind and respectful to each other, even when you're discussing things, or even if you disagree with me, because I will not tolerate any kind of negativity here on my channel or low vibrational energies. So, any mean or disrespectful comments will be deleted, just so you know. So, I encourage you to, if you disagree, to leave your opinion in the comment section in a respectful way. So, with that out of the way, let's get started and start channeling the subject for today's video. So I'm going to ask my higher self, I'm going to ask my soul's wisdom to bring me a subject for today. We have 7 of Cups. Subject for today: does choice matter? Is what I'm hearing. Does choice matter? So, does choice matter? Kind of in as, does free will exist? Does it matter what you choose? If you work very hard for something, will you get it? Because there are people who sometimes seem like they do not work very hard and they get what they get what they want, and then there are people who do work very hard and then they still do not get what they want. So there's kind of a feeling of unfairness. Like, does it even really matter what I choose or what I do, or is it all just the same, right? Or does it not matter? So I want to start off this video by first talking a little bit from my own experiences, because this is of course a subject that I've also pondered myself quite frequently, and over the course of the years I sometimes changed my mind on, or changed my opinion on the subject. Does free will exist? Yes or no? And probably a couple years down the line, I might change my mind again. So please don't hold it against me. And again, if you disagree, it's totally fine too. Just take this as some food for thought. So, first off, what I would like to talk about is a little bit about my past experience, like my past. And I first off, for a long time, I was an atheist, and I basically only believed in what science could prove, and I even took it sometimes as far as that love is just a chemical reaction in the brain. Wanting to have a family, wanting to have a baby is just because of hormones, and when you, as a woman, when you have a baby, then you're just being flooded with hormones that brainwash you into loving your baby. Just as a side note, I studied biomedical sciences, so I do have a background in biology, just to let you know that I do at times know what I am talking about. So like I said, believed in everything that science had to prove. I was studying to become a scientist myself as well. So that was basically my mindset, my personal views. So I did not believe in love, did not believe in true love, and I believed that at one point I was really thinking like maybe free will doesn't exist, because there are neurologists who say that free will doesn't exist because it's again just basically chemicals in the brain that make you make the decisions. Like you choose what you choose because of how your brain is wired, because of how the hormones and all the molecules in your brain work. And you know, things happened. I had my spiritual awakening and I started having a very different view on life and different view on these type of things as well. So now you know that I basically come from a background that I did not believe in free will. I did not believe in choice at all. And what I can say for myself right now is that I think there is a fine balance between the two, between free will and between destiny. And I really think that this subject is just all about what do you believe, because whatever you believe in is obviously what will manifest. But from my personal experience, I can say that both exist. That yes, destiny does definitely exist, because there are certain things that I feel I know are just part of my purpose. And even though I really want to fulfill my purpose now, I keep getting like messages from my spirit guides like it's not the right time. There is divine timing involved in this. So yes, I believe partially in destiny, in divine purpose, in divine timing and such things like that. But I also believe in free will and that the choices that we make do definitely matter. So if you are like me and you know what your purpose is, you of course have the choice to follow that purpose or to not do it. And there are examples of people who chose to not follow their purpose initially, and I think even I myself also at some time did not really listen to my heart, and I decided no, I'm gonna choose to say no to my purpose, even though yeah, because of free will, right? Because of free will, I had the ability to say no. And then some people might come around and then say yes to their purpose. Some people might continue to resist their purpose or resist their destiny. I totally believe that's possible, right? I believe that destiny is a thing, but you can also say no to destiny. And you can also manifest things that are not part of destiny, right? Everyone has free will, everyone has free choice. And I once heard another tarot reader say that from her experience, of course, she said that it seems that some souls come into this experience, this earthly experience, with more room for free choice than others, and some souls simply stick more to a certain path. And that's still something I am not really sure about if it like changes for soul to soul. It's definitely very possible. I would not deny that, but I also cannot really confirm it from my own experience. Maybe because she's been doing tarot readings for longer than I did, or she just has more experience and she's able to say that. So, from my personal experience, I can say yes, free will does exist, and yes, destiny does exist. The choices that you make definitely exist. And at this point, I would also like to share some information I read in books about there. Most of them, I think all of them, are written by Dolores Cannon. I don't remember exactly which books they were because she has so many books and I've read so many of them already. And she also talked like she, if you don't know who Dolores Cannon is or how her methods work, is basically she has people who go into past life regression, and then sometimes like she can move them in between lifetimes as well, so then she's not talking to someone's like past life ego, but she's really talking to the spirit behind that. And she writes books about that as well, and there were certain paragraphs, even certain chapters in some of her books, in which free will and freedom of choice also was a subject. And basically what I took away from that is that free will is a given in this reality, because we live in a world of duality, and those things go hand in hand. If we live in a world of duality, and you can check for yourself, yes, we live in a world of reality. We have good and bad, we have happy and sad, we have rich and poor, we have night and day, right? We have light and dark, all those kind of things. And this is also why everyone's experience is the truth. Everyone's experience is their experience and is the truth, because we live in a world of duality, and in a world of duality there is not one truth. There's not one objective truth. So what I was trying to say with the duality as well, if we have a duality, if we have a light and a dark, if we have a good and a bad, then it's inherent that we also have free will, that we have the freedom of choice. Because why else would there be a duality? What else would be the purpose of a duality, right? Why would there be good and evil, but we would not be allowed to pick between the two? If there, like, why would there be poor and rich if we were not allowed to say, yes, I want to be rich, or yes, I want to be poor, or like, no, I want to be poor, no, I don't want to be poor, I don't want to be rich, right? So it is inherent, because we live in a world of duality, there has to be free will, there has to be a freedom of choice. Otherwise, if there was no free will, there would be no need for a duality, which is the case in like other dimensions, right? Outside of this earth experience, there's not really a duality like there is here on earth. So yeah, that's basically what I have to say about it, about free will. In my personal experience, yes, there's free will, yes, there is destiny. And when it comes to the books I've read, which totally, like, they resonate with me, obviously, like, I did not read those books, and it's also up for discussion whether you believe in those things or you believe in the methods of Dolores Cannon. But I resonate with it, and I'm like, yes, it makes total sense, right? If we do live in this world filled with duality, we cannot avoid it. Of course we have free will. And then of course you can start to argue with, yes, indeed, you have a personality, and that personality is also in part, like, it's also, your personality is partially the way it is because of the way that your brain is wired, and because of the way you were raised, of course, and it's part of how you as a soul chose to incarnate, right? You chose to incarnate with certain strengths and weaknesses and certain personality traits, and you incarnated here with a plan. So yes, there are certain things that you're supposed to awaken to, and there are certain parts in your life that maybe you cannot avoid, so you could call them points of destiny. Yes, of course. So I think, like, not to be ironic, but I think it's not really a matter of just black and white, right? It's not really such a sharp distinction, like, it's just free will or it's just totally destiny. So that's basically what I have to say about it. Again, you're free to disagree with this or use it as some food for thought if you would like. Before I end the reading, I also want to invite the angels to share some more messages as well. Maybe they would like to add something just to close this ending with, to close this reading with, sorry. Let's see what they still have to say about this subject. Yeah, it's really just a matter of perspective, is what I'm hearing. Whatever your truth is, whatever truth you stand in, is the one that you will experience. So, like I said, I'm highly convinced at this moment that free will does exist, and but also that there are parts of our life that are like subject to destiny. But like the next person might say, yeah, there's just free will, and there's not no such thing as destiny. And another person might say the exact opposite. So whatever you experience comes down to what you believe. The High Priestess again. That's 3 readings in a row that the High Priestess comes out. So for those of you like really awakened souls, and I mean, if you're here in this reading, you must be amongst them. You're basically given the choice to choose whether you believe in free will or not. Doesn't make sense. It sounds sounds kind of like a paradox, but you're given the choice to choose between yes free will or no free will. And I personally think I haven't figured it all out yet, so I think for me and maybe for you guys as well, it's still something that needs to be discovered along the way, and that maybe only truly after we transition from this world into the spirit world that we might become totally clear on what it really is. We have the death card, and maybe in the end it doesn't really matter what you believe. It doesn't really matter if you believe in free will or not. In the end, what really matters is if you enjoyed yourself, is if you enjoyed your stay here on earth, is if you look back on your life and be like, yeah, I was authentic. Yeah, that was who I really was. I do not have any regrets, although I don't know if that's truly possible, but it could be something that you aspire to not have any regrets at the end of your lifetime. King of Wands. Yeah. So this it's again inherent to this world of duality that you have the choice to believe in free will or not. So in the end, in my perspective, what it all comes down to is yes, free will exists, and you even have the free will to decide if free will exists or not. So it's all up to the observer. It's all up to you, how you observe your reality. You can observe me to be wrong and you to be right. You can observe me to be right and another person to be wrong. You can observe yourself, or to be like, well, I don't really know, or I don't really care. And it's all up to you. It's all up to the observer. How do you observe your reality? Do you see the glass as half full or half empty? And that's all up to you. And you're given the freedom of choice to choose if you can choose freely. So with that message, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really loved this topic, to talk about this, and I'm sure there's much more to talk about on this topic. And if you've got anything that you would like to share, maybe that's more on like the neurological side or more on the spiritual side and the quantum mechanics, what's it called, metaphysics, more on the metaphysics side, or even quantum physics sides, feel free to share whatever you think or whatever information you have on the subject, because I would love to also see what you guys think about it. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, to comment, and subscribe, and maybe we will see each other in the next reading or video. Bye, guys.